Dear students, let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 16th December 2017. The first article, Cabinet nod for bill making instant triple talaq a crime. You know that the triple talaq has many variants. One of that is Talaq-e-bidat. So normally, as per the procedure, 90 days of time has to be allowed in pronouncing the talaq 3 times. But in triple talaq, it is instantly pronounced for. This particular practice of triple talaq, which is called Talaq-e-bidat, it was declared as unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. So in these circumstances, even after the judgment of the Supreme Court, many incidents of the triple talaq are noted. So to discourage the practice, the government of India is bringing in a bill. The name of the bill is Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Bill. As per this bill, if any Muslim married man pronounces triple talaq, it is a criminal offence punishable up to 3 years of imprisonment. Now, when Supreme Court has declared triple talaq as unconstitutional, what are the issues that have come up? The first issue is related to the gender justice. So, declaring triple talaq as unconstitutional is to promote gender justice and is a progressive act. And second aspect, a constitutional debate was personal laws. Do they come under the scope of Article 13 of the Constitution or not? Article 13 states that any law made by the state, if it violates the fundamental rights, it is unconstitutional. So the word law under Article 13, does it include personal laws too? That is a greater constitutional question which was not dealt by the Supreme Court at that point of time. The government also has asked clarification from Supreme Court on the matter of personal laws. Do they come under the ambit of Article 13 or not? But that was not discussed. That is the constitutional perspective. Now, Government of India claims that this particular bill is a move towards gender justice in the country. What the Muslim Personal Law Board MIM says is, already it was declared as unconstitutional. It means that Muslim women will not get affected anyhow through this particular bill, because the marriage is not getting invalidated. And if the husband is kept in the prison, how alimony or how maintenance can be paid to the aggrieved woman? This is a major question which the bill did not look into. These are the issues which are being proposed. Now, let's get into the editorial page. The first is stalemate at WTO. Now, what are the issues which are discussed in the WTO at recent ministerial meeting? The first is on food subsidies. Trade distorting food subsidies by the developed countries are opposed by the developing countries led by India and China. And the next is food security issues. The food security issues are a concern to countries such as India, where malnutrition is prevalent. India provides for various subsidies to ensure food security for its millions of population. West opposes these food security subsidies as trade distorting. Minimum support prices, National Food Security Act, all these are being opposed by the West. There is something called a peace clause. So the peace clause is providing protection to the food security initiatives of the developing countries, and this peace clause is going to continue. And third, the Western nations wants to bring in new issues for discussion. What are they? E-commerce, market access for small and medium enterprises, restrictions on fish, subsidies on fisheries. These are the new issues which they want to bring in. So what the developing countries are stating is, before the new issues to be brought in, we have to settle the world developmental issues, which is called Doha Development Agenda, which has started way back in 2001. So these are the issues which are being discussed. But the bigger question is, the WTO by itself appears to be losing relevance now. What is the reason? The bilateral mechanisms of trade, these are gaining a greater significance than multilateral bodies such as WTO after Trump has become the president. Now, if you carefully observe, United States is obstructing the appointment of judges on dispute resolution body of WTO. So, this is a blow to the multilateralism in the world now. Next is feed the cure. It is about the TB patients. So, what is the major reason for the vulnerability of the tuberculosis patients? That is lack of adequate nutrition. So, in this context, just providing for medical treatment is one thing, and providing for a complete cure to a disease another thing. So this holistic cure can only come up when we provide them with proper diet. The protein diet is especially essential as tissue destruction is maximum in tuberculosis. So the government of India is providing 500 rupees to a TB patient per month for effective nutrition. So this article says that is a welcome step, but a strong oversight mechanism is necessary. Next is changed priorities. It is about amendments to the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. So now first we need to learn what are the amendments brought in on November 23rd. So here I took the help of PRS Legislative Research website. Now, what are the amendments which are brought in? The first is a resolution applicant. For example, if a company is going through a resolution process, different people can suggest for different resolution plans to a person called insolvency professional. So this insolvency professional receives resolution plans. These resolution plans are being given by resolution applicants. So who can be these resolution applicants is been clearly stated by this. Previously, even a promoter, a defaulter, they can also be the resolution applicants. Now, this insolvency professional will determine who has to be the resolution applicant. And also, the eligibilities of these resolution applicants are being clearly stated. What is the purpose of this? For example, I have a company X and company Y is in insolvency process. So my company X is also in trouble, but I want to acquire the company Y because he is my friend. So in the process, obviously, I am going to act on behalf of the promoter of Y. So to discourage X from being a resolution applicant, this proposal has come up. And then, recollect again, the objective of the amendment is to restrict the resolution applicants who have a default history. Now, after this, the approval of the resolution plan. So, there is a committee of creditors. It means the bankers, etc. These are called committee of creditors. Previously, 75% of the majority is required to approve the resolution plan. Now, what the ordinance says is the 75% majority is required along with the conditions specified by Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. So, these conditions have to be followed, and along with that, over and above that, 75% approval is necessary. And if a company is to be liquidated, then who can buy its properties? The people who are disqualified to be resolution applicants, they cannot buy the properties of the company. So these are the provisions. The article, what it says is this. So this entire amendment is going to shift the focus away from the existing insolvency process to the sale of assets of the promoters. So the focus is getting shifted away. That is the essence of that article. India should secure infrastructure against cyber threats. Now, if you see cyber threats majorly coming from sovereign nations. For example, China has a host of cyber professionals to wage a war, and it means cyber terrorism is not just emanating from the non-state actors, it is also coming from the state actors. So that's why all the countries shall come together to fight this, and there has to be an international convention for the same. Coming to countries such as India, where the illiteracy is very high, vulnerability is also high for the cyber attacks. So that's why security audit is very much essential before any of the project e-governance project to be taken up. And then in the last page I gave you the material. Please go through laix.in/CivilsPrep. Thank you very much and all the best.